It's 2024. Where are the percussion caps? It's 2024. Where are the percussion caps? It's 2024. Where are the percussion caps? Where are the percussion caps is a big question muzzleloading enthusiasts are asking. Hi, I'm Ethan. I love muzzleloading, and we're going to be talking about that in this video. We're all still looking for percussion caps. It stinks. Based on my conversations with CCI last year, if we're to take them at their word, which I think at this point it's fair to, CCI only produces percussion caps one run every year. This run happens in May or June, depending on when they convert their production line to run percussion caps, because they aren't running percussion caps year round. They're running other kinds of primers. They're retooling those machines to run percussion caps. They're doing their production run, and then they're tooling back in for modern primers. Those caps made in May or June of a year, so this year caps will run in May or June of 2024. Those caps will then be in stores in July, August, September, October of 2024. Maybe in November if you're fortunate. Caps do go online at the same time as they hit brick and mortar retailers in that same July to October timeframe. So really, August through October is your sweet spot to find caps. If you're not finding them in that time period, chances are you're not going to find them unless you're really digging, or you find, your local sporting goods store happens to find a box of them underneath a pallet somewhere. If you want to get percussion caps in 2024, you have to get out and find them or order them online between August and October. I think it's fair to say that we cannot and should not expect plentiful caps in 2024 like we have seen in decades earlier. It's just not going to happen for whatever reason. The demand is there. People want caps. I get emails and comments daily about caps. Don't expect to see more unless CCI here's our begging. It's just not going to happen. That being said, shopping online is going to be the easiest way for you to get quantity. Based on what I've seen and what friends of I Love Muzzleloading have reported from across the country, local Walmarts that receive percussion caps, as that has been a go-to spot for many of us for years, local Walmarts get as few as 1,000 caps per store. So if you're fortunate enough that your Walmart, your local Walmart, gets percussion caps, generally they are getting 1,000 for the entire year. They get 1,000 in August. They put out a few hundred here and there if they are worried about getting them out slowly, and that's it. Many of these Walmart stores are putting 1,000 on one peg hook, and they're gone that day or that weekend, because demand is so high or people are going in and purchasing them all. So buying online, if you want 1,000 caps to put in your stores and to go shoot competitively or enjoy your cap and ball revolvers, because we all know those burn through caps like nothing else, you're going to want to order online, and you're going to want to order 1,000 or 2,000 to make sure that you have enough for what you want. As always, I like to say here, try to save a few for the other guy. It's easier to do in person. Don't necessarily be that guy that goes in and buys all the caps a Walmart has. Leave a few tins for the next guy. There's a lot of frustration out there about this. Back to shopping online here. Do your best to shop from a reputable retailer. This has been an issue now for several years, where we have scammers specifically targeting the shortage of muzzleloading supplies in the United States and scamming people out of hundreds and thousands of dollars for orders that never ship and inventory that they never had. For those of us that have been active in muzzleloading for a few decades, this might seem like a silly reminder, but if you're somebody new into muzzleloading, or you just get your muzzleloading arms out a few weekends out of the year, it can be really confusing trying to sort through who's a legitimate business and who's not. And if you are one of those, kind of weekend muzzleloading enthusiasts, there's a whole lot of retailers out there, and there's a whole lot of history to try to understand within muzzleloading, but then also the businesses that support muzzleloading. At ilovemuzzleloading.com, I'm continuing to build a big list of as many businesses and retailers as I can. If you aren't on that list and you're a business, please let me know. I'm really just pulling from a lot of the magazine advertisements of businesses that have been around for decades and mom and pop shops that don't necessarily have a big online presence, so that people know that they can call somebody and they're speaking to a real person and they actually have inventory and they're honest, hardworking people. You can also ask If you are seeing something in supply at a business that you don't recognize, just pause for a few minutes, go on one of the forums, go on one of the Facebook groups and ask, have you heard of blankety blank? I covered a lot of this in my how to, watching out for scammers. I'm not going to go into that right now, but just take a little pause. Don't get caught up in trying to get a good deal on caps, and make sure that you're buying from a real business. Alternatively, I'm getting reports that the DIY or do-it-yourself cap makers do work enough. They aren't going to be as reliable based on what's been reported to me. I haven't tried them personally. I hope to. But based on what's been reported to me, they are fairly reliable. But based on what has been reported to me, the DIY caps aren't as reliable as production caps, but they are reliable enough for some fun at the range time to preserve your production percussion caps for when it counts, like at a competition or hunting. On a positive note, as we head into 2024 here, in October of 2023, I did get reports and saw various postings online about new production Remington branded percussion caps being available at distributors and on retailer shelves. This is really great because we haven't seen Remington percussion caps in new production in some time. Now, I don't have any idea about the scale or the scope of production numbers for that Remington percussion cap run. I have not tested them personally and have not examined them personally. They just haven't been available locally to me, but it's nice to see that Remington name on those percussion caps come around. Along with that, if you'll remember, Remington Ammunition was acquired when the Remington brand went bankrupt a few years ago, and the Remington percussion caps are manufactured by the same company that owns CCI, which is under an umbrella corporation called Vista Outdoors. So I don't know where or when these new production Remington percussion caps were manufactured. I don't know if they're made on a similar production line as CCI or at a different plant entirely. And as far as I know, unless you work there and you personally have a hand in manufacturing these caps, everything about that is kind of speculation. So if you see somebody online saying that, unless they actually work for the company, I would pump the brakes a little bit before you go spreading that information. Because there's been such a disruption in Remington percussion cap manufacturing and distribution over the last few years here, it's hard to say if they're going to follow a similar production schedule to CCI or have one of their own. Like I said, the Remington percussion caps just kind of came out of nowhere in October, where I got a few emails and I got a few messages about this saying, hey, I've got Remington percussion caps, the first I've seen in years. This is what they are. Here's a picture. So I'm hoping that we see continued runs of those Remington percussion caps this year. I'm hoping that this year gives us a solid distribution timeline so that we can start to at least speculate on when and how many of these caps are available throughout the year and at regional and local distributors. Closing out on the Remington percussion caps here and the positivity of seeing them, the parent company, Vista Outdoors, that owns the Remington ammunition production facilities, announced that it was putting up its ammunition manufacturing businesses for sale late last year in 2023. In late 2023, it looked like the primary offer was going to a Czechoslovakian holding group, not the same group that owns Colt right now, but a different Czechoslovakian group. And then kind of in the 11th hour of 2023, the CZ Group, which owns Colt now and is from Czechoslovakia, is rumored to have put in its own bid on the Vista Outdoors ammunition production brands and businesses. So there is quite a bit of uncertainty. As much as I want to be positive about percussion caps in 2024, there's some uncertainty at the business level here until we know who has purchased them and, like we saw with GoX, what kind of changes might be made through the reacquisition of that. Right now, we have no idea. There's no information. Nothing has been said about the sale of this company since November or December of 2023. So everything out there right now is speculation about what kind of changes might happen. I'm hopeful to see a rather easy transition, as always, but I think this is a whole different ball game, really, with having foreign holding companies looking to purchase these brands and these businesses. We just don't know what's going to happen. I'm not saying to go out and panic buy. I'm saying to stock up and get what you need. Leave a few for the next guy if you can. because there's some uncertainty around this. We know that percussion caps are a low priority for the modern ammunition manufacturing industry, as has been made example for the last 5 years. So it's kind of a toss-up right now. I just want you to be aware that that is happening in the background. And then number 10 percussion caps. I'm sorry guys, I have not focused very much on number 10 percussion caps. A lot of what I've been talking about is number 11s because those are more popular cap in my opinion based on what I'm reading and what I'm seeing. Number 10 percussion caps really I think are even lower priority than the number 11s for the manufacturers. I think if you really love shooting whatever cap and ball muzzleloader you have and you have a number 10 nipple on that, it's going to be a lot cheaper and a lot easier for you in the long run to get a number 11 nipple and put on that muzzleloader or put on that revolver cylinder and go from there. At least you can make, or the number 11 percussion cap makers out there that you can purchase and make at home, you can get that far and you can still enjoy your cap and ball revolvers. The number 10s right now, I'm not expecting to see a whole lot of. It's just what I'm seeing, and I'm sorry that I haven't been more upfront about the number 10s, but I'm not seeing them anywhere. So that's something else to keep in mind and remember. I know that you can order a number 11 nipple, and I know that you can put them in quite a few of the muzzleloaders out there. If you do have a muzzleloader that for some reason you can't swap the nipple out and you're stuck with number 10s, you know, you might keep an eye out or ask some of the DIY percussion cap kit makers to see if they can make up or size something, or maybe try to make at home yourself some kind of sizing die for that number 10. As always, be safe. That's all I've got for you here at the start of 2024 about percussion caps. I am keeping an eye on this as much as I can here. I know it's a priority for many of us, but I think we're going into 2024 just like we did in 2023. If you caught my muzzleloader recommendation for 2024, if you're getting started, I recommend getting a Flintlock. And right now, if you want to continue to enjoy your muzzleloaders out there, you know, you might consider picking up a Flintlock and expanding your capabilities a little bit. As always, buy some stuff. Make sure you can get through a shortage or a production issue like we've seen in the last 5 years here, and keep your powder dry. If you see anything or hear anything, my line is open at ilovemuzzleloading@gmail.com. I'd love to hear what you're hearing or what you think about the percussion cap issue and the situation that muzzleloading is facing here with production woes through the country. You know, if you have a question, you have something I should dig into, I'm more than happy to dig into it. I don't have contacts everywhere, but I really do count on a lot of viewer input here as far as what to dive into and what not. So if you have an opinion on that, let me know, and I'll see what I can dig into. Once again, I'm Ethan. I love muzzleloading. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.